Hello, everyone. Welcome to Analytics are for the nerds. It's the Olympics are on and ready, and it's 36 days until the NFL season starts. Let's go. There he is. Life-saving. How many lives saved this week, Kyle?
Just this podcast by coming on, so 3.
I take back the delicious part. Delicious.
I've already clipped that. That's already on Twitter.
That's legitimately going to be a Twitter clip today. You know what I meant. Thank you. And some people, apparently like me, don't like almond joys, and those people are idiots.
I'm going to give you the best deal. The greatest of deals. We need the tight end. We're big on the tight ends.
You're not saying embarrassing songs. You're just saying songs that make me dry. So, like,
Let's shit on Leone. Let's shit on Leone. Everybody love shit on Leone.
Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. You see the drippy, I'm fitted up. Hop in my car and the giddy up. Secure the bag, yeah, I get the bus. Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. You see the drippy, I'm fitted up. Hop in my car and the giddy up. Secure the bag, yeah, I get the bus.
I forget how much I loved that one week where Ryan just kept saying delicious to describe football players. It brings a little sparkle to my life. It's so great. Great job, Louis, on that edit. So good. How are you guys doing? How are we feeling? 36 days until we start.
One day from real football. Like tomorrow, real football. Is that not crazy?
Yeah. And we're all going to watch it in real life.
Yeah.
Where else would we watch it?
Look, if you're not a real football fan, if the thought of betting props on Teabag, Tyler Bagent, okay? I mean, that's what gets better than betting on Teabag. I mean, I've said that so many times. So it's just good. Like, football's on. I know that first Hall of Fame game, no team takes that one seriously, so you don't get to really see any of the interesting players. All of these guys are going to be selling insurance by week 4, but you know, that's fine. It'll be fun to watch.
Interesting enough, every time I've bet on Teabag, I've lost. I've tried to bet.
I don't know much about Teabag. Can you guys discuss what's really any Teabag info you guys got?
I don't. Let's stop saying Teabag.
Okay, we keep going. All right. Our next draft should be our favorite Teabags. All right.
Is there more than one? Wait, we're going off the rails. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm just gonna throw it out there. Sometimes some of our drafts, I'm like, all right, I've got 2 things, and then I'm just Googling like flavors of Skittles. Like, I don't know why we do this to ourselves, but here we are. Alas, are you guys watching the Olympics? That's a no. Okay.
Wait, no, yeah, I was waiting for Ryan. Oh, Ryan, you're saying no, you're not.
Not really. No, I mean, I'll see the highlights of some of the cool stuff that happened. I do want to hear about whatever this drama was between Simone Biles. I mean, Allie, you got to fill us in on that.
Oof. Well, and Louis, are you watching any Olympics?
I have caught very little. I have fallen asleep to what's the red zone.
The gold
zone or whatever. Yeah. I have turned that on almost every night right before bed, but usually I have not lasted long. So I haven't watched 10 seconds of USA basketball. So I mean, yeah, no, I think Allie, you might be the Olympic queen here. So fill us in.
The only I'm wearing I'm not being patriotic, but I'm wearing my New Zealand rugby shirt in honor of the U.S. women's rugby team winning bronze. Look at that. All connected, right, guys? So there is something I've been watching it. I'm like a sucker for this stuff. It's amazing, and I love that they're doing the red zone version of it. But the juicy drama. Or delicious drama, as Ryan would say, is the Simone Biles and what's the lady name? Michaela Skinner
Oh, Michaela.
She seems like a McKenna, right? Michaela Skinner. So they were both on the former Olympic team together. And she was in an interview and Michaela said that a lot of the girls don't work hard who are currently on Team USA for gymnastics. She said the girls just don't have the work ethic. And then that's kind of inappropriate to say, right? You should be.
Who is this Michaela girl?
She was a former USA Olympic gymnast.
Oh,
she was on the team with Simone, the last I think it was 8 years ago.
So they're she's what the kids call an old head. She's an old head.
Yeah.
Okay.
She won only silver for a team, just saying. So then what happens? Spoiler if you're watching it live right now, or it's pre-recorded, but Team USA wins gold for overall, right? And Simone Biles tweeted, posted a picture oh, looks like we're not all that, look at us not being hard workers or whatever, right? And there's a picture of them with their gold and they're holding the flag. So now what's going on is people have figured out that it's about Michaela, her diss. And then Jordan, who is on Team USA as well, she just posted a picture. She was on Snapchat, still on right now if you're listening. And Simone Biles was blocked by Michaela, and which is really funny because I'm pretty sure she doesn't care about your stories. You know what I mean? It's just so great. It's just so stupid. I love it. It's so stupid. Yeah. I guess I'll see you guys later.
No, I don't. I don't know.
It's so dumb, and I love it. Yeah.
I'm sorry if I'm stupid, but are they're teammates? Is this
They used to be on the same team. They were. It was in Athens.
I'm sorry to ask follow-up questions, but I'm lost.
I think they both played. So Simone Biles has been to several Olympics. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. I know that.
So she was on the overall group. There's 5 gymnasts that compete for the women's Olympic team.
Okay.
For gymnastics. 5. They both were on the same team one year. You got that?
Yep. I'm with you.
That's
it's like Caleb Williams and Teabag this year.
Yeah, she's a Teabag.
On the same team.
Yeah, that's all it is. So they were on the same team. So she's talking shit and saying that they sucked. Everyone is sucks and doesn't work hard except for Simone Biles, is what she said. They win the gold tonight. And then Simone says, yeah, it looks like we're a bunch of gold-winning losers that are they're not hard workers, as a jab to her. Yada, yada, yada. Now they're like, Meh. And then you get blocked. And she was while this was going on, while the team was winning, she was taking her kids to training camp.
Well, and I also saw, just the last thing on this was that the celebration from the British team, I think, right? That they thought that they had won because they didn't see that there was one more score to be posted. So they started celebrating. Then they were like, oh, no, wait, no, we didn't win. So it was tough scene, but as a Team USA fan, I kind of secretly enjoyed it.
Yeah, I get it.
If the Bring It On franchise has taught us anything, cheerleaders that are fighting are always a good thing, right? Drama, but I know they're not really cheerleaders, but I mean, what are they? I mean, they do the same thing.
I guess another. I was going to say, remind me to bring up. Okay, time out. Okay, before I make a joke about Louis and how he's just not in it today. I think it's still his mushrooms are still in his body, but we'll get into that soon. But and then so Simone Biles is married to a football player. You guys know him?
Yep.
We got the Bears is Jordan. Is it Owens? Is that who it is? Right, Jordan.
Sounds
That's
good.
how good he is. Yeah. So I'm wondering, have you guys used him in your drafts ever? No.
No. We are in an IDP league, but I don't think either of us has ever drafted him.
I don't even know what position he would be. What he plays? Does he play?
He'd be a good pick for your point per spousal Olympic medal.
I'm sorry,
Defensive back. Okay.
Yeah, Jonathan.
Jonathan. Yeah.
See, that's I know. We
That
should
is
just
also-
give up now, guys. We are
His-
so
That sounds like a movie name too.
so good. It's so good. Okay, so we'll keep this train moving. There's other things that we could talk about, but I think there's plenty of sports talk. We're 36 days away. Let's get to football, right? But before we do, Louis survived a very long weekend. And I thought he was not going to be here this week, which mentally I don't think you are.
No,
but you made me so nervous with like electronic music and tense. I was like, oh no, he's gonna die.
No, make your jokes. Probably top 10 weekend of my life. Like incredible. A lot of good stuff. Very, very good vibes. Some funny stuff. Like, I mean, I helped. I got there Friday morning early, and they weren't set up yet. And so I was like, what kind of music festival is this? And they're like, oh, grab a ladder. And so I did more work in the first 4 hours I was there than I have done in the last year from my home improvement company. That was a lot. And I was like, this isn't part of my my fee. I hope I'm getting paid more. But that was a lot. And Friday night, I did a lot of mushrooms, and at one point had this girl, very, very attractive younger girl that I having good conversation with. She this wasn't like her first question, but somewhere along the conversation, she asked me what my kinks were. And about 5 minutes later, I was so high that I led her to some form of financial advice. And she legit made the joke. She's like, remember 5 minutes ago when I was asking your kinks and then you became my dad? This isn't going to work. My kink is not dad's. So this isn't going to work out. So that one I ruined. Saturday, we had somebody we both know, a mutual friend of ours, show up that I didn't know was going to be there. Like, as
she's
my
a delight. She's a
delight. My God, campy neighbor, and immediately was like, you know, I'm very casual friends with her, and I didn't know her friend. Within like an hour, we're just best friends, you know, and just really like enjoying time. We did a comedy show on Friday night with a megaphone, which was amazing and great. Literally half the festival sat and watched it. Our friend Jake Sampson, who you know,
so
legit, he came up to me like right before. I go, we don't have, like, I can give you guys mushrooms, we can hang out and just have a good time. A lot of people are interested in comedy, but you don't have to do this. Like, someone fucked up, we don't have a speaker here, we only have this megaphone, or you could scream loud, but we were in between 2G. And Jake's like, let's just lean into it. And we did. We made I legit went up and was like, there is no way you guys are going to tell this story very often about how you were in the middle of the woods tripping on mushrooms and you watched 4 comedians do comedy on a megaphone. Yeah. There is nobody that's ever going to believe you. So this is all staying right within this. And it was really fun. They were really responsive. They all loved it.
My question with comedy I'm sorry, with like when you're on mushrooms, I've never indulged. Are your ears like a sound sensitivity? Is I just feel like that would be so painful.
It was tough for a few different things because we were right in between the 2 main stages of music. So even though they were far enough away, your senses are heightened so much on mushrooms that, like, you know, we were getting the music from each ear. The laughter from the crowd was very, like, I'm like, they loved it. I don't know. Maybe they didn't. Maybe they were just smiling and I thought that they were giggling hard. But I gave every single one of the comics mushrooms before they went up. So we were all on the same level. And so was most of the crowd. So that went well. I won't say that. I was gonna say something else, but I won't say that. But no, I did yoga for the first time ever, and got like, it was a very. I make a lot of jokes. It was a very replenishing weekend. It had a lot of benefits for my mental health. I enjoyed it very much. And I have never seen 7 people, especially family members, 7 people. They're all cousins or brothers or sisters. And they threw this festival together in the middle of nowhere and killed it. Like they really did. And nobody fought or anything. I can't even like go to breakfast with my mom without setting boundaries. And these people crushed this. So it was pretty impressive to watch that too. Big ups to the Paradise Festival and the Paradise Festival people, because it was a really cool thing.
You just made that festival sound like what I think Jonathan Owens plays like. I was like, I don't think I need to see it. I think I'm good. I think
didn't so you know me, I shower 6-7 times a day, obviously no shower thing. Our friend, do you remember Gabby Gouger? I'm name dropping now, but you remember Gabby Gouger?
Is that her Christian last name? That sounds like a fake name.
No, it really was. She used to be around the scene all the time, but local comedy scene. She didn't do comedy, but she was like friends with everybody. You would know her if you saw her. She used to live with Josh Potter, whatever. Long story short, she was the owner of the property. We were running, and I didn't even know that till last second. So got to spend some time with her, good old friend. No shower for 2 days. That was tough. I also have IBS, which you both know, and I shit. So I shit a lot. It's like my body knew that it was time to like get under control. Didn't poop once the whole 2 days, so I didn't have to deal with that. It was like my body was like, "Hey, bud, don't worry, we got you." So great time. Really, it was a really.
This sounds exactly like one of Aaron Rodgers' retreats, like where he does, whatever that thing is. Like this is great. No, it's good. It's cool.
Yeah.
You were high, smelly, and you couldn't take a shit. That sounds again awful. All right.
I'll make you feel like it was good some other day. I don't know if I did the best job selling it right there, but it was pretty impressive.
Yeah, you lost me at performing with a horn and then loud music while performing. I mean, and then also mushrooms and then just tense. Again, but we are going to talk football now.
I slept in my truck one night. The tent, I will give you that. I will say the tent situation was so bad the first night that the second night I slept in my truck. So I will give you that. That is not tent life is not my life. I will say that.
Okay, your brand new tent too. We'll have to get later an update on how the new stuff went out. But let's do the AFC North breakdown. Yeah, this is us talking. I can't talk today either. I'm so sorry, everyone. Please just revert back to the beginning. We are doing the AFC North breakdown. We're gonna go and you guys are gonna rank your top 4 quarterbacks, running backs, wide receivers, tight ends, and we're gonna start with Louis, and we're gonna do quarterbacks first. All right.
Yeah, quarterbacks, Ryan, I think are pretty self-explanatory. I go Lamar, Burrow, Watson, and then Fields over Russ.
Yes,
right?
same.
You're doing the same. So
Exactly.
I think that's pretty easy. For running backs, I don't think we'll be on the same page because there's somebody on this list, but I'm going to go Henry, Najee Harris, Zach Moss, and then Jalen Warren. That is my top 4. I can't find a Cleveland guy. I'm drafting Ford more than anybody else, but I just don't like that situation. So I think Harris and Warren both have some value. That's why I have them both there. The Chase Brown thing is just hype for me a little bit. So I went Moss there 3. What do you think?
I think it's a good list structurally. I see the logic behind all of the picks. I went Henry, Warren, Brown, Chubb. So wow. I have Warren over Najee. I know I've taken Najee in more drafts this year than I typically have, and I'm not a Najee guy, you know this, but I do think that Arthur Smith, just given his past, I think he is going to use both of them. I just think it's one of those situations where by the end of the season, I think the talent is going to win out, and I do think that Warren is going to kind of take off this year in a certain way because I do think he's much better than Najee. The Chase Brown versus Zach Moss bit, I mean, I think it is a bit of smoke right now. I don't think necessarily it's going to be just like he's now the 1A and it's a 1B situation. But I'm still just not like overly excited about how that's shaping up. I still think that that's going to be, they're going to be splitting time, and I'm not seeing it like how it used to be with Mixon. But we'll see. And then Chubb, I do think is going to I'm going to bet on his talent and think that he makes a recovery by, let's say, week 6 and just, starts getting back to his old self.
Wow. Okay.
All right, let's do wide receivers.
Wide receivers, I went. This is a fun list. I went Chase, Pickens, Flowers, Higgins. I think you can put those 4 almost any way after the next 3 anyway after Chase, but I'd be interested in knowing if you didn't have one of those, you didn't have those same 4.
You know what? It's an oversight on my part, but the 4th guy that I had doing this list, scrambling because I accidentally put together the NFC North list before the show started and realized I did the wrong list. I actually have Judy in my top 4, and I do think if I think I'm taking Higgins over Judy, batting the rest of the season. So, but I think Judy is an interesting 5th there, just because I think there's someone in that Cleveland offense could take a step this year, and I'm just a little bit lower on Cooper than most.
Yeah, I think that would probably I think that's exciting. I think I if Higgins wasn't there, I think I can get on board with Judy as 5 instead of Cooper. Tight ends, I went Andrews, Njoku, Fairmouth, likely. I don't think that that's a shock. I'm going to let you answer, but it was hard. I'm going to just answer my sleeper really quick too. So if you can do your tight ends and your sleeper, it'll be fine. And the reason why I'm doing my sleeper here is because Gesicki is my sleeper, but I just couldn't. I think he's like my sleeper in the sense of like better than where he's getting drafted. I don't think I could put him over likely on my list. So I left Gesicki off, but I still think he could have a good year. It was tough to leave him off.
I have the same list as you. I'll also give you my sleeper. It's funny that they're the same position on the same team, but a different player. I'm going to say Eric All. He just came off the PUP list. He's a super athletic tight end that they drafted this year, I think in the 4th round. And I know that he's probably got an uphill battle to make an impact this year, but I just don't see it. I've just not seen it with Gesicki. I just, every time we've seen what Gesicki is, and we haven't seen what All is, and I think that it might be interesting if he takes a step this year. So, but I do have it Andrews, Njoku, Freiermuth, and likely.
My bust is going to be Chase Brown, and that's just, again, I think he's getting a little hyped up right now. I want to bet on Zach Moss. I will be perfectly honest with you and tell you that's a little bit because I'm over-invested in Moss at this point and totally faded Brown. I started mixing up a little bit and trying to get a little bit more Brown in my portfolio now that he's getting a little bit of steam. But at the end of the day, I think Moss is still the guy I want to buy on that offense to be RB1.
My bust is going to be Jerome Ford. I think, he's one of those, I think, prototypical dead zone running backs where you're projecting based on volume and opportunity as opposed to talent. I think he's done a decent job in the past, but he's a stopgap to me. And if Chubb looks 60 to 70% of what he was last year, I think the Browns are going to try to ride him and stick with him and just see how long they can get with Nick. So we'll see.
All right. Any other honorable mentions for this week?
No.
Nope.
Anything else on the AFC North? That was the way that should go. I think that was
just I have one quick note. Just I think us both in harmony on Justin Fields eventually taking the reins in Pittsburgh. It was nice to see, I think, this week some positive camp reports coming out about Fields kind of turning some heads. And you have to take everything with a grain of salt that you hear at this time of year. But when it confirms your priors, you have to believe that it's true. So
good. Next, we are going to play used car salesman. So I'm going to give you guys 2 players each, and you're going to have to sell them to me. First up, we're going to go Ryan. You're going to go and try to sell me Dameon Pierce.
All right. Well, let's remove the name for a second. Let's play just, a little thought exercise here. All right. So what if I told you I have a 24-year-old running back who ran for nearly 1,000 yards as a rookie, finished as the RB28. And this year, at worst, he's the handcuff running back behind a running back who's turning 29 years old on a premier offense in the NFL. Or at best, he's cut or traded or signed by an RB needing team like, let's say, the Cowboys, right? And immediately becomes their 1A or 1B. And he's practically free in drafts right now. I just can't understand why the market is not. I guess I kind of understand what happens typically in these situations is when you have a player that does well there in one season and then wildly disappoints in their next season. There's an overcorrection, I think, and that's what's happening here. There's no way he should be an 18th round pick. He has so many outs, and I love taking him in basically any type of build. So Dameon Pierce should be. I'm buying him everywhere.
You sold me on the think big. That was that's. I think if we start seeing him go up in drafts, I think it's because of you. That makes a lot of sense. Louis, any take on Dameon Pierce?
Yeah, just specifically when I asked you about 2 players, and we'll find out your second player now, like who you wanted to sell us on. You picked 2 guys that I would have loved to do the same. So like we're on the same page with Dameon Pierce for sure, and I'm with you. I don't understand, and it's hard because I like a few other guys now in that 17th and 18th round to like stretch, but. As long as Pierce is on the board, it's in 17 and 18. I'm clicking on him almost every time.
Do you feel like selling to me right now, Louis?
Yeah, sure.
Why don't you sell me Sam Darnold?
Listen, Sam Darnold. I've been talking about Sam Darnold all year. This is my new Puka. I've been trying to find time to go back and like look to see when the first time I mentioned this year that I think that Sam Darnold could work with Minnesota, but I think it was like the week after he signed, and I'm buying fully in. The training camp noise is good. He's like my 2001 Chevy Cavalier, like nothing fancy. It's got 3 rims on it, but like trying to bring it through the snow, could go through 6 feet of snow, never died, great on gas. Stamina's good. He's scared of ghosts. I'm scared of ghosts. Sam Darnold, I can't wait until week 6 when I'm sitting here. The Vikings are 4-1, and I got my 120 to 1 ticket on Sam Darnold as being the comeback player of the year, and we're talking about him more. But if you guys want to keep letting them sit out there, I will draft all of them. Don't worry about it.
Sam Darnold, the Chevy Cavalier of the NFL. Ryan, any thoughts on Louis' sell?
I'm starting to warm up to it. I hate to say it because, when he first floated this idea, I was very resistant to it. But look, I think the Vikings have an opportunity to play the long game with JJ McCarthy and not necessarily put him in right away. So I could see a scenario where Darnold starts 10 or more games this year. I do think that at some point the pressure usually gets on the organization to put the rookie out there. But for now, yeah, sure. For a stopgap car, to get you through college, yeah, I'll sign Sam Darnold. That's fine.
Yeah, you're making it sound like he's good for training camp, and then you're gonna buy a real.
Oh, it's a temporary thing. Yeah, it's not forever.
Yeah.
Okay.
It comes with bumper stickers. You're like, oh, thanks. Ryan, how about you pitch me Michael Wilson?
Okay, so instead of telling you a lot about Michael Wilson, let me just tell you about the other players in his wide receiver room. Okay. These are the guys that he's competing with behind Marvin Harrison Jr. for meaningful snaps. Okay. You ready for this? Zay Jones, Greg Dortch, Zach Pascal, Chris Moore, Tejuan Palmer, Andre Baccellia, Daniel Arias, Jeff Smith. Okay. I'm telling you, the opportunity is there. Okay. And he's playing with Kyler Murray, who's now healthy in the second year of the offense under Gannon. And, last year he flashed. He had games of 86 yards, 76 yards, 95 yards. Like, I don't know. I'm buying Michael Wilson as the RB, or excuse me, the WR2 behind Marvin Harrison Jr. in this offense. And look, it's a concentrated target tree around Marvin Harrison Jr. and McBride. But if there's ever an opportunity for someone else in that offense to take, why not be the other guy on the other side of the field that is having attention taken away from him because of the excellent talent on the other side? So give me Michael Wilson all day long.
All right. Louis, any thoughts on that sell?
That was like the most used car salesman selling ever. Like, listen, I know this car sucks, but look at the other cars I got. They really suck.
Coming from the Chevy Cavalier guy.
Listen, do you want this Pinto or do you want this Huffy bike? But that was.
I'm going to try to sell you Jeff Smith. I just can't do it.
I'm big on Mike Wilson too, and I like the sale of him. I don't know if I would have portrayed it the same way, but sure, I'm in with you with Michael Wilson.
Allie, quick question for you: do you think that if he went from Michael Wilson to Mike Wilson, it would lower or improve his ADP?
Oof.
Michael Wilson sounds like a director for like a.
You're not wrong. Film. Like
Mike Wilson was one of the worst Buffalo Sabres defensemen of all time. If you don't remember Buffalo, that name,
the market would be depressed.
I think he needs a middle initial that would really step up his player profile.
Like Michael J.
Michael J.
Really, anyone is usually it's like a Michael John or and Michael P. Wilson, Michael Patrick, probably right.
Michael Fox Wilson. He should be Michael Fox Wilson.
Yeah, throw all the names in. The more names, the better. I think that increases. There must be a stat. I'm sure someone has it. The more names you use, what your likability is. I don't know.
Yeah.
Figure it out. Come on, nerds, figure it out for us. Now, to close this off, this sale, and then I will tell you whose car I'm buying. Louis, you're going to sell me on Jamal Williams.
All right, so I'll do real quick Jamal Williams, and we'll move on because we're short on time. But this is simple. Like I've been a big Kamara fader. He's at that age where he should be being faded. The Kendrick Miller news is not good. I mean, we heard how their head coach said he's got to stay on the field to make the team. Looked like that was a pretty tough challenge. Maybe that was just a tough coaching thing, but it looks like Jamal Williams is going to start the year as RB2 behind, like I said, an ancient running back. The guy's 2 years removed from leading the league in rushing touchdowns. And vibe check, go to YouTube and just look at Jamal Williams interviews and laugh your ass off for the next one. He's like the coolest guy in the league. So yeah, I don't really need to sell anybody on him. You should be clicking on him every time you see him in the 17th round.
Those are the videos you watched this weekend, right? While at camp.
Under no drugs.
Brian, any takes on Louis' sell on?
I don't know. He's trying to sell you on a guy and say, listen, this other running back's getting so old and he's 3 months younger than the running back he would be replacing. So I just,
Allie, would you rather have a 2001 or a 2000? Just saying.
I'm also going to say, I do like the angle of 3 months. Wow, what an old man. I love that.
If anything, Ellie's looking to get the older.
Yeah, I was like, can we get a veteran? I actually want, when they show the World War II veteran, I'm like, that's the one I want. So
no wonder she's picking at Jamal Williams.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to say if I have to pick, I think the star of this carpool was Damian Pierce. Yeah, that surprising, but I think but I think the Sam Darnold is he would be my if I don't put a down payment on Pierce, I would go Darnold.
Okay, you're back.
I feel like I still need to be sold, just like outside of cars. I would need to be sold on Darnold. I don't know.
I think he's a good quarterback that never got a chance. I still want to bet, and we'll see. I mean, again, this is an opportunity. It's a team that's got a star wide receiver, really no expectations. He's going to be able to go out there and get a chance. If this doesn't work for him, yes, that's his career.
Yeah.
And a really good coach. I think O'Connell is really, really smart and really good at designing offense. So that works in his favor too, for sure.
Okay.
I love it. All right, guys, that was fun. We are, again, it's the Olympics for another 16 years. It's the Olympics, and we are going to draft our favorite Olympic moment. Whatever you guys want to do. We're summer, winter. Yeah, let's go.
I got it. And I got the draft order. Ellie, you got the number 1 pick. I got the number 2 pick. Ryan, 3, and then you'll be coming around. So, Ellie, number 1 pick. What is the best Olympic moment of all time?
If I was number 2, I would pick this as my first. Oh, shoot. Okay. Rats. I'm going to say the most exciting Olympic memory has been Michael Phelps reaching for all of his golds. It was so amazing. He's changed the game. He brought up mental health, like we're talking about it now and how it affects athletes. But I think how many medals does he have? I think 89 or something like that. He's ridiculous. He's just magical and amazing. And I love that he got in trouble for smoking weed at a college party once. Like, it just was a different time. I don't know. I love Michael Phelps's road to gold.
I was just out for dinner with Mike Leone, former guest, Sean Stutzman, and Nick Constantino, and Kyle Turner, Jesse. Like, we were having this conversation about what we were drafting tonight, and I just couldn't come up with a Phelps moment because there wasn't a moment where he just didn't dominate, which is great for him, and I guess that's kind of like your number 1 pick is just like his overall domination for sure. But there wasn't like a moment that I could come up for him. So I'm so glad that you went 1 here and went with that, because I was scared that I wasn't going to get this, but I think the Miracle on Ice has to be the pick here. And I thought that was my 101. So I'm really glad to get the Miracle on Ice, and I will take that here. No explanation really needed. Yeah.
Well, now this is kind of like how the Sabres felt when they didn't win the McDavid lottery, and they didn't get to pick. I feel like those 2 picks are easily far and away the top 2.
Oh, good.
But I'm going to go something more personal to me growing up watching it. I remember loving this, and I was just talking about this recently. Dominik Hasek winning the gold for the Czech Republic.
That's good.
This was, what was it, 98 in
Nagano.
Yep. And this was like maybe the height of my Sabres fandom, watching him and being at the no goal game and like all of that, and like seeing him win that. And as huge underdogs, I mean, that was just so much fun to watch. And I remember watching those games. So I'm going to pick that. And then my next pick, I'm going to pick the U.S. women's soccer winning the gold in 96. Brandy Chastain. And I mean, that's a very memorable moment. And I also grew up playing soccer, and men's teams were always like not as good. And like, so it was always fun when the women's would, be doing well, and like so that was a cool moment.
I don't want to call you out, and maybe you're not thinking this or whatever, but it was not the Brandy Chastain moment World Cup, like the shirt.
Oh yeah, that was World Cup, but no, I guess
okay, but they did win in '96. Yeah. Okay, I want to make sure I wasn't wrong. And also, anytime I get
you're right, that was World Cup.
But you're all right about the '96, and they were underdogs, and they won.
All right, well, you could just let me romanticize it.
I know. I just wanted to make sure
he's a new man now, Ryan. He now He's no longer peace and love. He's like,
No, I'm all peace and love. I
You're
am.
always peace and love.
Listen, man, I gotta tell you, I'm grooving, baby.
I love it. What's pick number 2 for you, Lou?
I think Jesse Owens beating all the Nazis.
That's
And that was what was it, 32? It was like right before the World War, or was it before the
36.
Second World War? Right
36.
before the Second World War, right? What was it, Brian? I'm sorry.
1936 it was. Yep.
Okay. And in Berlin and with everything going on in the world, and Jesse Owens went there, kicked some ass. Yeah, he's got to be on there.
Awesome. Great pick. So these are all like so emotional. I'm gonna go. Also, one of my favorite Olympics I've watched was also the 1996 Olympics. Again, going back to gymnastics, when Carrie Strug she under rotated on the vault, she landed and you saw her foot go up and she injured her ankle. Her coach comes out and picks her up, but she still landed it, and they still what? I mean, it's just an amazing story, and man, athletes are just what they do is impressive.
Is it the image we've seen the most from the Olympics? I think so. Like, at least in my lifetime, I feel like in our age group, I feel like that is the image I've seen the most times. It's such an iconic moment from the Olympics. That's great. That's a great point.
And I also want to point out, when people are like, I know like the 90s are now cool for people to dress like. If you just want to look at what Carrie Strug's hair looked like, it does not look like what you're buying at the mall now. Just saying. It was mushroom cuts. But anyway, and then my number 3, I'm going a little different. I'm going to go with the movie Cool Runnings, Jamaican bobsled.
That was my next pick.
That was, that's such a great movie. It's just, no need to explain, but Jamaican bobsled team.
I'm going to say this to you, okay? That I was going to take that cool, nice story and be cute and not be offensive this whole draft. But then you stole that from me. And so I have to go to my next thing. And I'm just going to go with with the 72 terrorists in Munich, only because they started, kind of terrorism on a world thing. Like they were the first, and you gotta I'm not promoting terrorism, but when you're talking about memorable moments and the first, so I'm gonna go with the terrorists from the 72 Munich game.
Somewhere sorry, go ahead.
No, please.
Oh, I was just gonna say, somewhere Sean McDermott is listening to this and nodding his head. He's like, yes, finally, somebody.
It was a little bit of a nod for our boy Sean. It was. It was a little bit of a nod to him.
It was so awesome. You are tickled right now. You're like trying not to laugh as much as you want to. I see it in your face, Ryan. I see it. All right. What do you have?
Am I up for 2 now?
Yes, you're up for your list.
Okay. I'm just happy that I also had a very short list here, and I have 2 more that I'm pretty confident about.
Okay.
So the next one is Usain Bolt just winning the fastest man. That he was so cool to watch. He also had just a bigger than life personality too in his interviews. So very memorable. And my last pick is going to be Team USA basketball winning in 2008 in Beijing. That was Kobe, LeBron, Carmelo, D Wade. That it's just cool when you get to see those guys play together, and it's meaningful basketball. It's not although at this time too they were forming super teams, so they kind of were playing together in the NBA too. But it was just a really really good team. So
another dinner conversation was Usain Bolt. When we were talking about this, in your opinion, both of you, is there a non-USA Olympian athlete more popular than him? I don't think so, right? That's got to be number 1. Can you think of anybody else? I think he was the one. I mean, he was marketing shoes in the USA.
Yeah,
I think he was number 1, but just kind of a weird question we were asking.
Yep.
All right, there's some good ones, and I won't be offensive here. So thankful. and I could make a joke about how it happened, but I am just, this was an emotional moment, great moment. I think Ali lightened the flame at the 96. Why are you laughing so hard?
Did you just read the chat? Is that what he said?
Oh, I didn't see it. No, I didn't see the chat. I'm not saying that out loud. I'm not being offensive. I'm a new person, and I'm all about love and peace. So I will not be repeating your hate in your chat. No, it was a very.
It was beautiful.
Yes, when he lit it, yeah, that was very, very good moment. Jesse tried to fight me on that when I was talking about that. He thinks the archery with the lighting the thing.
Oh, that was cool.
It's not. They overshot it on purpose, and then they just flip a switch. Like all that guy has to do. That guy is not hitting the flame like people think. You guys realize that, right?
I know Disney World. It's okay.
He's overshooting it. Why is our background like leaves? Anyways, I just am starting to realize that. Whatever.
Are we in a Panera Bread? What is that, by the way?
Is that our new sponsor? All right. And the draft.
All right. I'm going to a story that I don't know many people know, but the 1988 Seoul Summer Olympics. I am a competitive sailor, and then they do sailing as a sport. And Larry Lemieux was a Canadian sailor, and the conditions were really bad and choppy. And Larry was basically about to finish the race. He was in first. He was going to win gold. And two different sailors on two separate boats capsized. So he pulled out of the race and he rescued them. And it's like a really amazing thing. If you, there's tons of stories on it, tons of like little documentaries. It's really amazing, you know, once again, going into what an athlete is and what that means, and helping out for the greater good. So 1998 Seoul Summer Olympics, Louis, when you try to write this, you're like, capsize sailor.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be definitely not whatever you just said for sure. Correct. Real quick, Harding shoelaces, Greg Louganis, the injury and how horrible that was. Carl Lewis in '84. Dream Team, just formation. I mean, that was the best basketball team that ever existed. I don't know if they had a specific moment. Michael Johnson wasn't mentioned. He's
on my list.
That was a good one. USA girls beating Canada in 2008, hockey. And then my favorite non-pick, which I should have definitely got this, is you remember the story in '98 in Nagano where the Chinese put the singer, the little girl that was the national anthem singer. She's gorgeous. She was like an 8-year-old beautiful voice, but they thought she was too ugly to go on national television. So they put a lip singer out to sing an 8-year-old lip sync. Fucking China. Are you kidding me? They did. And so that story is just amazing. And like they defend it. There's like stories out there. It's insane. And then they went, but you know what? Then she went on and she created Sheen, and now she's a billionaire. So, all right, that's where I got offensive. I went all through that whole thing, and then the Sheen line went a little far.
It's good. That is excellent. Ryan, any hot takes for you that any offensive or not offensive ones?
No. The only other thing I had on my list was sex in Olympic Village. That's it.
Oh,
generally speaking, you know. It's not really a moment. It is, I guess.
It's a moment.
Yeah, it's a moment
for somebody.
I also have the movie Blades of Glory.
That's good.
But I still think Cool Runnings is the more superior one. But that was fun little draft. Guys, when we talk next week, it's going to be 29 days until real football starts. Isn't that exciting? Thank you everyone for listening. I know we're gonna and we'll see. We'll all see each other at Friday at the Blue and Red game for the Bills. So
yes,
see you in a couple days there. Excited to see anyone's new Coleman jersey again out in action, right? And then Louis, whatever weird Sheen jersey you got as well. Everyone, thank you for listening. Please like and subscribe. We'll see you soon. Thank you for listening to Analytics Are for the Nerds.